Let's go.
What a lovely day!
Andy, there's a whole world out there. Jump in.
Can you dig it?
Yeah.
You must always pay strict attention.
I was just completely enamored by it the entire time.
Dude, he did not have to go that hard.
I know, man. Isn't it wild?
The Jared Cast.
So it begins.
Hello. Happy New Year. Welcome
New Year.
to Jared Cast Part 2, unofficially. Welcome back. We had a little vacation. It's been a hot minute or two.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be back. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good. Holidays were fun but chill, and but I'm just excited to start recording again, start watching movies again. Playing catch up with the best of 2021 is
tough.
killing me.
Yeah, I think I've watched a movie pretty much every day since we last recorded.
Oh,
except
nice.
for maybe Christmas. I think that was the only exception.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I still got a few more movies to watch. Thankfully, I got plenty of time. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this year. We're only 5 days away from our first anniversary.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Cute. I guess it's not Jared Cast Part 2 yet. We have to wait for January 11th or whatever.
Yeah. Although technically we started. When did we start again? Was it the day after Christmas last year or something? It was like a weird day.
Fuck if I know. It was something strange like that. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to bother looking through our messages to find that. Well, we'll figure it out by next episode.
Yeah.
We got a fun one though. I like our Q&A episodes. They're very chill, pretty laid back for the most part.
I agree. And before we jump into all of your guys' questions, by the way, thank you to everyone who submitted questions.
Big things.
It was definitely a treat hearing from some of you after a long time, and I'm excited.
A bit of a burden for some of you too. I didn't like getting in contact with all of you. So,
but before that, to celebrate the new year, we are talking about our top 5 most anticipated movies in 2022.
Big top 5.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. Even though we just kind of did our most anticipated of the fall winter 2021, I included both fall in this one. But yeah, do you want to start us off, or do you want me to start?
I can start. My number 5 is a little anticlimactic because we know almost nothing about it. It's mostly a mystery. But if I say 3 names at you, 4 names, I guess technically, but Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, and Steven Yeun, Jordan Peele is releasing his 2022 movie, Nope. That's all we know. Great title, great starring cast. So I'm excited. There's no details about this movie at all, so I have nothing else to say about it, but I'm fucking jazzed, so... Nope, number 5.
I too am jazzed. Did you see the poster?
Yeah, it's tight as fuck.
Okay.
Big It vibes for me for some reason. I don't know why.
Maybe. We will see. My number 5 is a bit of a controversial one, I guess, because people are still on the internet believing internet memes and believing internet things, but this movie will be released on April 22nd in 2022. It's called, it already has a trailer out. I didn't watch the trailer. I walk out of the theater every time because I'm very excited. I don't want to see anything before the movie comes out. But it's The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, starring Pedro Pascal, Neil Patrick Harris, and Nicolas Cage as himself.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
I forgot about this. Fuck.
Yeah. Dude. Apparently, Nicolas Cage is going to go full Cage, playing a fictional version of himself. And I think there's like a hostage thing in his birthday party. So one of his fans is forcing him to be his characters in the action movies to try to save the day. Hopefully this movie turns out great. I'm expecting good things. Yeah, love it.
Yeah. He's on such a hot streak. Not that he ever really hasn't been, but he's on just such a nice indie movie kick right now. If I had remembered that movie, it would have made my top 5, I'm going to be honest.
Yep.
Very excited about it. Number 4, probably going to steal a bit of thunder here, and I'm sorry for that. Coming out October 7th, 2022, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. How could I not be excited about this? Into the Spider-Verse was one of the few superhero movies that I enjoyed of recent. And so, hell yeah, I'm hyped for this. The last one was fucking damn near perfect Spider-Man. Yeah. And so how could I be not excited for this? As much as I tend to shit on superhero movies on this podcast, got a bit of a reputation. I'm excited for it. This is one that I will watch probably day 3 because I don't want to deal with the super fans, but after them, I'm there.
Hell yeah. I'm glad you're excited. My number 4 is coming out March 25th. And there is a trailer out for it. It's from A24, and it marks the return of the Daniels, who directed Swiss Army Man. And I'm very, very excited for Everything Everywhere All at Once, kind of multiverse kung fu movie featuring Michelle Yeoh and quite a few other great actors. But yeah, this is another one where like every time I see the trailer about to start, I immediately walk out of the theater because I want to go in as blind as possible. And from what I understand, like it's pretty freaking crazy, the trailer. And so definitely check it out. I think if you guys watch this trailer, you'll be equally as excited as I am. But really all I needed to know was that the Daniels are directing a feature film again. And I'm there.
Yeah. Honestly, very hyped. My number 3 is actually a 2021 movie, but it hasn't been picked up for distribution yet. And so there's no possible way to really see it until 2022. Yeah. So I'm counting it. So I wasn't at TIFF, and that was like the only screening up until now.
I think I know what you're picking.
Going to Japan for this one.
Oh, never mind.
Still no. With Drive My Car. I've been seeing it on the top of a lot of top movies of 2021 lists when I was trying to catch up. It's adapted from a short story from my favorite author, Haruki Murakami. And I'm super hyped. He's always down with the surrealism, the weirdness. I'm avoiding watching the trailer because I want to go in full blind. I have not read this short story, but a 3-hour drama based on one of his books, immediately there. So I'm very hyped for this, and the reception has been impeccable, and so I'm hyped for it. Number 3, Drive My Car.
Hell yeah. My number 3 is very different in terms of budget and style and production. It's coming out September 30th, hopefully. But it doesn't have a full title yet. But it is Mission Impossible 7. This franchise has consistent love for hard-hitting action cinema and consistent world building. So I consistently love it, and I can't wait to see what crazy thing Tom Cruise is going to do next.
Yeah. You're the resident Mission Impossible fan of the podcast, so no surprises there.
Yeah.
My number 2 is a repeat. You already stole my thunder on this one. It's the Daniels with Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Nice.
We've been getting a lot of juicy kind of metaverse type movies. And so this not being part of like established franchises, having that and having the Daniels style, I'm fucking there. Like,
Yeah.
what else is there to say? I have also been avoiding the trailers. I'm doing the Jared method. Yeah, I'm super jazzed for this one. I could not be more excited.
Yeah. Just the thumbnail of the trailer with the googly eye in the middle of her head. Like,
Yep.
of course.
And,
of course.
and the poster having those fucking everywhere. Yeah, I'm gonna be hyped.
Yeah. My number 2 was also stolen. It was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I knew we'd have some crossover on this list.
Yeah, it's funny that that the number 4 is still both
Yeah.
number 2s.
I bet you our number 1s are the same too.
We'll see. But yeah, of course, everything that Jared said is okay. But like, I mean, is great about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Like him, I think the first one is a near perfect Spider-Man film, and the way I ranked my Spider-Man films was like how much they made me cry, and like, and I was like, I was arguing with my manager at work because I got to see it with my coworkers as I work at a comic book store. And my manager was like, how does this rank in the Spider-Mans with you? I was like, well, No Way Home only made me cry 5 times, and Into the Spider-Verse made me cry like 10 times every time I watch it. So,
That means it's a good Spider-Man.
yeah. So Across the Spider-Verse, definitely worth doing. Also, like the little details, like Miles' hair being a little bit longer, like Gwen wearing Converse instead of a ballet slippers. Like, I'm curious to see what happened to these characters in the past couple years.
Yeah, I'm super hyped for it, which is rare for me in superhero movies. My number 1, we'll see if it's the same. I think this is any film nerd kind of movie that it's probably their most anticipated or up there. This director is on such a fucking hot streak. It's The Northman.
Ooh.
Yeah, Robert Eggers. I am jazzed. I am all about that Nordic shit. And I think if there's one director who could pull it off, it's probably Robert Eggers. I'm excited to see how he gets weird and artistic with it, because he always does. But the trailers look like they hide a lot of that, and I'm hyped for it.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to avoid the trailers for this one, but what a trailer it is. And it has Alexander Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy, Bjork, and Willem Dafoe. And so I'm sold.
Yeah.
So The Northman is easily my most anticipated of the year.
Yeah, I closed my eyes and put my headphones in as soon as I saw Bjork. I'm like, this is too good already. This is too good already.
Yeah, dude, I'm hyped.
My number 1 is actually not The Northman. It's a sleeper pick, especially for a film major.
Okay.
It's coming out May 27th, 2022. And literally, if every other movie in 2022 gets canceled except for this movie, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay because it is the Bob's Burgers movie.
Oh, I forgot about that too.
Literally screw every other movie from every other production company. I don't care. Just give me Bob's Burgers on the big screen, and like I could die the next day. Like, it'll be great.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bob's Burgers movie,
Fair enough.
May 27th. Sorry, Robert Eggers. You're one of my favorite filmmakers. You're one of my favorite writers right now.
Doesn't matter. Bob's Burgers takes precedent.
Exactly. The songs, the voice acting.
The soundtrack's going to be great.
It's going to be so good. Yeah.
Yeah. Great pick. Not one I expected, but in retrospect, should have saw coming. Yeah. Now we got more questions, more answers.
But before that, Jared, close your eyes. I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
But yeah, dude. Today, instead of just us doing the Q&A, I brought I brought in a surprise guest. Jared Lombardo does not even know about this guest, and this person is very intelligent, very cool, very lovely, and basically an honorary Jared at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, Sabrina Gattasi. Welcome to the podcast.
She has returned. How you doing?
You guys are too nice. Hi.
Yeah. When you said intelligent, I was like, so it's not Renata.
Damn.
Kidding. Catching strays. Love you, Nada. We'll talk later.
How's it going?
It's going good, dude.
Good.
How about you?
Been too long.
This is very early for me. It's not even that early.
Are you
But damn.
Are you still in New York?
No, I'm back in SF. I got here a few days ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How was it?
It was good. It could have been colder. It's like colder here. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What's your most anticipated movie of the year?
Oh shit.
You got to play catch up now.
Damn. That's what you guys are talking about? I feel like Jared sent me the questions and I feel like such a non-film person half the time. I'm like, I don't know what my favorite Australian film is. Let me Google Australian film first.
Yeah.
Dune doesn't count, huh? That's like
Yeah, I think
not-
that's
not this year.
23. Yeah.
Damn. I don't even know what's coming out this year. Half the time
That's
I'm
fine.
at award season, I'm like, oh, this is new.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I had to look up like what was coming up just to get a hint.
I didn't do my homework on there, but I do know my favorite Australian film.
And that's what matters. We'll get to that.
Nice. Alrighty. So Jared's got a couple questions, and then
I
we'll go
do.
to the questions that were sent to me.
I have two, both from the same person. So shout out Ben, fellow film major and producer at my work. Up first, what is the worst alcoholic shot to take? Besides Fireball, he did have that stipulation.
That was
besides Fireball,
That was gonna be my exact answer too.
yeah, it's kind of the obvious.
Oh my gosh. Yes, film. We love it.
Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
It's up to you.
Okay.
I'll let you go first.
I'll pick anything with Bacardi just because it's disgusting. It's for some reason
Fair.
like I'm okay with like any hard liquor, but for some reason I just don't like the taste of it. I don't know why.
Do you like other rum, or is it
Is it just
Rum.
Bacardi?
I like spiced rum. Yeah, that's my thing.
Damn.
But like I don't know.
Yeah, there goes our Bacardi sponsorship. Fuck.
If Bacardi makes one that sells me on it, then I would be happy to
Right.
blow it every episode.
Fair enough. Sabrina, what's your least favorite shot?
I don't know if this is very like applicable to anyone else, but in Argentina we have sometimes really shitty, cheap alcohol that I haven't really seen here. But one time for a party, it was a group of us and we didn't really want to go. So we just bought like the cheapest thing just to leave it at the party. And it's funny because at the end they gave it back to us, so we had to keep it.
Damn.
But it was tequila flavored alcohol.
What?
But not tequila.
Like we could have sworn it was tequila, but it was tequila flavored, and it was disgusting.
Right.
Crazy.
Disgusting.
Yeah, that's awful. Fuck.
Yeah.
What about
That's
you,
the-
Jared?
Yeah, my answer was gonna be tequila, because because I hate tequila. I like the ritual of it, like biting the lime and shit is a cool twist. But then I remembered Baiju in China, and that shit's atrocious.
Oh my
And so the first time I tried it, I was like, okay, not bad. I could do this. And then every shot after that, I was like, this is the nastiest thing I've ever tasted in my life.
That's weird.
So yeah, fuck Baiju.
Where'd you guys get that? Was it just like offered, or did you like go out of your way and buy a bottle?
I think one of the instructors bought it.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just like, here you go. Yeah, fuck that shit. And then his second question, we'll bust this out too, was if the only time two women talk in a movie together, does it fail the Bechdel test if they talk about murdering a man?
Technically, yes, which is why I don't like the Bechdel test, because that's pretty progressive, right? Killing the dude.
Pretty fun.
I don't know. What do you think?
I would have to reread the rules and like get in their nitty gritty. But
so I think
if the point is like, oh, this film, shows women and like, I don't know, highlights them in a non-stereotypical way, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
But also counterpoint, if that's the only time they talk together is to plot the murder, it's also probably not doing a great job overall.
They just never show up again.
Yeah.
They're like at a subway, they just talk about the murder, and then we never see them again.
Yeah, like there was a South Park episode that literally just did that, like on purpose. They were like, hello, woman, and then they addressed each other by like name, and then they made sure not to talk about a man, and then they like
oh my gosh.
So like, I think giving people a bare minimum for like a way to represent women, I think, encourages people to just shoot for the bare minimum.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, that's all I got. Off to you, Jared.
Well, so my brother sent a troll question. He was like, "What's your favorite time traveling movie starring Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock?" Do you guys know what the movie that he's talking about?
No.
It's called The Lake House, and it's the cheesiest.
Okay.
Oh my god.
It's the cheesiest romantic movie ever. Basically, they fall in love by so she lives at the same lake house that he does, but he lives there like 2 years earlier, and they communicate by putting the letters in the mailbox, and they fall in love that way. But cute. I'm just gonna rework because he sent me 3 of those, so I'm just gonna rework them into real questions. So what's your favorite time traveling movie? Just an easy softball.
I think I have to go with Back to the Future because it was like the first movie I fell in love with, probably. And so just for nostalgia and childhood's sake, I might have to go Back to the Future.
Nice.
Yeah, same, but like the one with the tiny pizza in it. I don't remember which one that is.
I want to say it's 2.
That's part 2 because I remember that and I didn't like part 2.
Damn. I like part 2. Part 3 is trash, but
I just love that it was like I forget the year they said, but it was something like 2010, and I was like watching it in 2010, and it was such a fun experience to be like, "There's a tiny pizza, you're crazy."
Bagel bites.
Yeah, I was literally just gonna say bagel bites.
The future is now, old man.
I just love the idea of it's a tiny pizza in a box. I think it was like Domino's or like Pizza Hut or some big brand too. And they put it in the oven, then it grows.
Yep.
Like, how is this productive and functional?
Awesome.
Purely storage based.
Amazing.
Yeah. What about you, Jared? And is it Bill and Ted?
It is not Bill and Ted. It is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Even though the time travel happens at the very, very beginning and then doesn't happen again. I think that like the idea of time travel, like going back to change your fate, I think it's written best in that movie more than any movie that I've seen about time travel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Good answer. I feel like we're on the Family Feud every day. Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah. The next one is from Alquan, who is either in SF or Sacramento. I don't remember. But he asks, "What is the best use of a pop song in a movie?"
I think I've used this in a top 5 before, but Don't Stop Me Now in Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I have to. I'm contractually obligated.
Yeah, I checked back at my top 5 when he sent me this question. I didn't use any pop songs, so I could have used so I couldn't have used any of them. What about you, Sabrina?
So my answer is very hipster asshole of me.
We love it. Go for it.
We gotta stay on brand, you know?
You got it.
So the song is Creep by Radiohead, which is a pop song.
Yeah.
Basically,
Let's call it what it is.
Popular, worst Radiohead song. So the ending of Filth, I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but I just thought it was so good. Filth is a great movie. It's insane. It's super unhinged and kind of fucked up, but great.
Yeah.
And at the very end, they have this cover of Radiohead. Arguably, the cover is kind of terrible. I'm sure they couldn't afford the actual song. And I'm sorry.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sorry that it was that way. But it's just kind of like ironic and kind of funny in it, and it's like kind of sad, but it's like weirdly funny. The whole movie's kind of like that. It was good. Good movie.
Nice.
Watch it.
Nice.
My answer might be because of recency bias, because I watched Sing in theaters when it first came out, and then I rewatched it yesterday morning in preparation for Sing 2. But at the end of the first Sing, you got Tori Kelly playing Mina, singing "Don't You Worry About a Thing" by Stevie Wonder. And of course, Tori Kelly, beautiful voice, amazing singer. So having her cover Stevie Wonder was amazing. And the way it's used in the film is really good too. But just in case that's recency bias and it's not actually the best, I'm going to go with Freebird from Kingsman: The Secret Service. During the church scene when when freaking Mr. Darcy is killing people, and they're playing Freebird. Of course.
Yo.
Yeah.
I actually trying to remember that top 5. I think Don't Stop Me Now is my number 2. And I think Needle in the Hay and Royal Tenenbaums was number 1 for me.
Yeah. That was the other one.
Secondary pick, we'll do that too.
Nice. This next one is from DJ Martinez he has 2 actually. DJ Martinez in Camarillo. Thank you, DJ. Who do you think is the best James Bond, and who played the best Spider-Man?
Ooh.
Both very relevant for 2021.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I have to go Daniel Craig for Bond. He's the one I watched more of, and between Casino Royale and Skyfall alone, two of the best performances by a Bond.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean Connery. And then Spider-Man, I've already said on the podcast, but I'm a Tobey Maguire stan till I die. So
excellent choices. Sabrina.
I don't like James Bond at all. At all.
That's fair.
Tell us how you
I feel
really feel.
bad, but I watched all the new ones with Daniel Craig. I've seen because I want to like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice cinematography, and they're huge productions. They have all these musicians making music for them. It's so big and classic.
Yeah.
I don't like it. At least the newer ones. It's every time I see them, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if your loved one is dying. I seriously couldn't care less.
Yeah,
I don't care if you're close to death. No, don't care. I always like the villains though. But other than that, I don't care.
Who's your favorite Bond villain?
Oh, what's his name? I'm so bad with names. Why am I on a movie podcast? Christoph Waltz. Christoph Waltz. I really liked him. I'm a sucker for Christoph Waltz though. But like I'm also a sucker for what's his name from fucking Mr. Robot. And this new one, I didn't think he did that good of a job as the villain, which was sad. I'm like, I wanted this to be so great.
I was hyped when I saw that casting, and he was so in it too. I agree.
Yeah, I just think the character was weird. I don't know if it was his fault, but me and my roommate, we talk about how he was holding a kid in that one scene. Like it was disgusting.
To be fair, kids kind of are.
Yeah. But
Spider-Man?
you could tell he was just not vibing, just holding this child. It was a weird performance.
Yeah.
And your favorite Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, true. Tobey Maguire. Because I mean, that's what I like grew up with. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet like
the only wrong answer is Andrew Garfield. Love the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like the first like Doctor Who that you watch. That's who you like. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just what you start with. It's what you grow up with. In my opinion, you just kind of stick to that if you liked it. Unlike James Bond, but yeah.
I think of all the modern Peter Parkers, I think Andrew Garfield is like pound for pound the best actor, especially after watching Tick Tick Boom. But
agreed.
My favorite Spider-Man performance is actually not from a movie. It's from the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 game, and it's a voice actor, but it's Yuri Lowenthal. I think this version of Peter Parker is the most complex, the most layered and interesting, and I think Yuri kills it. He's also famous from playing Ben 10 in the Ben 10 Cartoon Network show.
Oh my gosh!
And he played the English dub of Sasuke in Naruto. So this is his best voice performance, I think, of even counting those three.
Yeah. Can I change my answer to John Mulaney as Spider Pig?
Spider Ham.
Yes.
Or Spider Ham. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good. All right, guys. We were anticipating this question from Alfie, and my good friend from Australia. He I don't know if you guys ever met him, but he went to SF State, but he was he's a cool dude.
Yeah, I loved him in Game of Thrones. He was fantastic.
He's a cool dude. I took directing actors with him. But yeah, he's asking, what is your favorite Australian film that is not The Babadook?
That's so funny. Is he Australian?
He is Australian, yeah.
Okay, that's a question I would ask. I would be like, what's your favorite Argentine movie? And people would be like, let me Google it real quick.
I would probably have to.
I think I know my favorite Argentine movie. But I've only seen like 4, so like I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. But favorite Australian film first.
Sabrina, you were real excited about this one, so I'll let you drop it.
I chose The Great Gatsby. Again, like I don't know if like these count as Australian because it's like
he's an Australian filmmaker.
Yeah, exactly. But it might not be like an entirely Australian production, but that it was on the goddamn list, so that's the one from the list. Yeah, I thought it was great. Like I had just read the book and had watched like the older Great Gatsby and thought like this is so bland. Like it's such a crazy book. Of course, Baz Luhrmann would do these crazy things. Mm-hmm. It's not perfect, but that's not what we're talking about. It is my favorite.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
AKA the only one that you've seen. No, I'm just kidding.
No, there was a good amount. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know.
I was surprised.
Yeah. Okay. Jared.
I will let Jared have his pick because I can guess what it is. So I won't say that. And instead, I'll go with The Conjuring. Apparently, James Wan is Australian, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See?
And so I'll take The Conjuring. I think it's a great horror movie that kind of ruined horror for a few years because everybody just tried to make The Conjuring. But it's fantastic. It went pretty far in our bracket from what I remember, and we'll dub it my favorite Australian film.
Yeah. I mean, I actually I love Australian film. The first one I watched was in like middle school or like sixth grade, I think. Which I think no, that's middle school. Sorry, but it was Rabbit Proof Fence, which is about like two Aboriginal kids who escape a detention camp and just have to wander the desert by themselves and find their way home. And it's freaking crazy. And that was my first look at Aboriginal culture. Back then, and I also want to shout out 2016's Lion, starring Dev Patel and Rooney Mara.
That was close for me.
And Nicole Kidman. Very, very good movie. They took a huge gamble by not introducing any of their stars until the halfway point of the movie, which was insane. And The Nightingale, also by Jennifer Kent, is very, very good. Makes me very angry to watch that movie. But it's
absolutely
but a great searing portrait of colonialism. But I think the best movie of the 2010s and currently the reigning supreme champion of all action movies of all time is Mad Max Fury Road. I think I've said enough about it over the year on this podcast. So, but yeah, that's my favorite Australian film. They do a great job using the Australian desert. It's great.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
Surprise, surprise.
The next one is from Alex Saunders in Porter Ranch, California. Do you think since Quentin Tarantino's been promoting his book on several podcasts, a lot of people have been asking him about Kill Bill 3, and he's been saying, yeah, I have a plan. Uma Thurman is down, Maya Hawke is down. We just need to, just whenever it comes together. So do you think Kill Bill Volume 3 has potential, or is it past its prime?
I'm going to go past its prime. I think it'll be good, but I don't think it'll be great. I don't think it will, taint the legacy that Kill Bill has, but I don't think it's going to meet the expectations. It's going to be the worst, I think. I think Tarantino ebbs and flows in quality, and I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it was good, but I think it signifies kind of a downturn. And so I think it's bad timing for a Kill Bill 3. Plus all the drama with him and Uma Thurman forever, just as long as time has existed, might cause some awkward performances out of her.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same boat. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's been a while, in my opinion, that I've liked a Tarantino film. I really thought The Hateful Eight was terrible. I remember being the only asshole that was like, fuck this movie so hard. But kind of since then, I've been just kind of disappointed. I think sometimes some directors get so popular and good at their job that it's formulaic. It's predictable. I mean, I just can imagine it must be hard to find inspiration in a mansion, but yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I've liked a Tarantino film. I would be surprised if this next one isn't that interesting either.
Very interesting take.
Maya Hawke is great though. But
yeah. Obligatory Maya Hawke and Uma Thurman are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes. I would be excited. I think having just rewatched the Kill Bill franchise and seeing how far he's come since then, I actually prefer later phase Tarantino to that phase. Even though I've said many times that Kill Bill was my favorite of his movies. I think that opinion has changed over the past couple years rewatching his filmography. And I actually like Hateful Eight. I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood better than Pulp Fiction or Kill Bill or Jackie Brown.
Fight.
And we don't. No, I enjoy that. I enjoy the looseness of him, and I enjoy that he just kind of gets to go crazy on the page. But with Kill Bill Volume 3, I don't know, man. I don't think it's ever too late for revenge. And we still have, that's probably going to be on the poster.
Yeah.
For those who haven't seen Kill Bill Volume 3, one of the targets of the bride has a daughter. And after taking out the target, she says, if you still feel something to the effect of if you still feel bad about it, you can come find me when you're old enough. And so I think the bride paying for the violence that that was well deserved back in the day. I think paying for it now, I think would make it very, very interesting and very, very. I don't know if I would call it Kill Bill Volume 3. That's the thing. I think I would make the movie entirely about something else and have it kind of be about getting older. Have like a coming of age thing with Maya Hawke's character playing Uma Thurman's real daughter in the movie. Yeah, I don't know. There's still a lot of potential because the world is just so big in that movie. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I see your guys' points for sure. Because it's been almost 20 years since it came out.
Yeah.
TJ Jose from Camarillo, California asks, what comic book character do you want to see have their own movie? So I guess anybody who it could be someone who's been in a team but hasn't had a solo yet, or it could be someone who hasn't had any movies at all.
This is going to be the third or fourth time we've brought up Into the Spider-Verse, but I am jazzed on the idea of Noir SpiderMan having a solo film.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that would be, of the side Spider-Man, easily the one I would want to see. I think it'd be great. I'll take it live action if they need to, as long as Nick Cage is still Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think it's the most fruitful, and I don't read comic books, and so that's my answer.
Yeah, definitely. Sabrina?
I have another asshole hipster answer
Go
ready.
for it.
Yeah, so the comic books that I read, they're like graphic novels, kind of like, yeah, the cool entitled ones. I love them.
Yeah,
But,
I love them too.
Yeah, so the last one I read was Mouse, which is I know that's a depressing, adaptation, but
Dude.
I just thought Mouse was so good.
Yeah.
I read it in a day. And I even looked up if they had tried to make an adaptation because it's so adaptable. But I guess they were going to at one point, then it didn't work out for some reason. But I would love to make, a really artsy adaptation of Mouse. Yeah. If you don't know, Mouse is it's a Holocaust story with the from the perspective of a Holocaust survivor. And it's all the Jewish people are portrayed as mice. The Nazis are portrayed as cats. It's just so cool. It's such an interesting. Yeah. I thought it was great. I would do that.
Yeah, I could see it in the style of Watership Down, kind of dark animal movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I would do that.
I agree. Mouse is an amazing graphic novel. I would only want to see it though if it was animated in black and white. The way that the comic is.
And one mouse has a red jacket on.
No. Yeah, excellent choice, both of you. My pick would be Storm from the X-Men.
Mm,
She's been one of my favorite. She's currently my favorite, but she's been one of my favorite X-Men since I was born, basically. But like, she like Halle Berry's great. Alexandra Shipp is great as Storm, but they're playing a supporting role in those movies. But I want to see like just a freaking 4 movie long series of Storm going from like an orphan on the streets of Egypt to being celebrated as a goddess in Africa to being a superhero to being a leader of superheroes, and now she in the comics like a couple months ago she literally used her powers to terraform and conquer Mars because she's what's called an omega level mutant. Like her powers have no limits, so she could literally just think. She could think tornadoes forever and destroy planet Earth. That's all she has to do.
damn.
She's that powerful, and she's the currently like she's called I think the regent of Mars, or Araco as it's been renamed. But she conquered it for the mutant race, and it's freaking dope. And just straight up did it in front of all the humans to flex on them. Um, yeah, dude, I love Storm, and I would love to see. I would love to just do it. I'd be so honored if I directed even just 1 movie with Storm, much less 4. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are we currently planning or developing our next short films? This is from Nick, Jared's friend. I don't know where he lives, but yeah.
Which Nick? Oh, that Nick. Yeah, I think he's still in the Bay Area.
Okay, still in the Bay Area. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you for the submission, Nick. But yeah, are you guys currently planning or developing your next short films?
I think I'm like forever working on like 3 projects at a time that maybe never get done. Maybe one of them gets done, maybe they all get done. It's like, yeah. I've been writing a lot of like I've been trying to get into writing more. So I've been writing like this kind of like Western railroad, people going crazy in the heat kind of thing. I think that's gonna be fun. I've been doing just like my own kind of more experimental shorts at home. But yeah, I'm always kind of doing stuff, but I'm mostly freelancing for other people, which has been awesome anyways. Yeah.
Nice. Yes and no, I guess. Jared and I started writing something and then both completely forgot about it and just like haven't talked about it in like a month. So kind of that. I had that one film that I wrote a little bit ago, but nobody makes movies in Southern Oregon, and getting a crew together somewhere else and like finding time to make it is looking less and less possible by the day. So that's probably going to sit on a shelf. I want to write a feature, and I have a couple ideas that I've been throwing around. Maybe when we're not recording, I'll pitch them to you guys. But
Yeah.
and then this next year, I'm really going to focus on documentary. I'm planning on going to, I think, like 30 different countries this year. Literally come June till next June, I'm going to be traveling. And
Damn.
so, yeah, it's just going to be a bunch of short docs. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
I have one that I'm planning on like just directing and starring myself, and it's just going to be myself. It's currently delayed because I'm helping my brother with post production on his own short film called Rooftops, which I think will premiere in February on his campus, but will hopefully be on the internet or maybe even in short film festivals by the spring. But yeah, that's what's on the shelf for me.
Yeah.
Cool.
I guess I just want to say, like, for the record, I know a lot of like filmmakers our age and, in our situation, listen to this. Like, it's okay. It's okay to have like 10 projects on the shelf and always be working on them. I think that's super creative and hard to do. These are projects that are usually funded, and like on a big scale, they're funded by a fuck ton of people. A fuck ton of people are involved, and we're doing all these on our own. And being creative is fucking hard, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And
Amen to that.
yeah.
Agree. This we got like 3 from NATO. So
that's our boy.
Yeah. He says, "What's the most difficult part of running a podcast?" I guess, Sabrina, you can just answer like the most difficult part of being on a podcast. I don't know.
Having to think of Australian movies she likes.
Yeah. I don't know. Like this is what, your 3rd time on the Jared cast? Like what's the most difficult part?
I like, there's like probably a few. I don't know, like silly shit, like being quiet when other people are talking. There was one episode, I think it was the first one, which was like 3 hours of recording.
3.5.
So I had brought some like snack with me, and I think I was like eating while you're recording. Like, you can't do that. So stuff like that, just kind of withstanding. It's like, it's a marathon. Recording a podcast it's a marathon. So, no mouth sounds for however long the recording is going to go. And, it's just little awkward things like that.
Yeah. Jared?
For me, it's probably scheduling. Jared knows this struggle. Between like having to do 2 and like work a full-time job that changes my hours every day.
Crazy.
It's, just finding time to watch the movies or listen to the albums and find times that work for Jared and NATO. Like, just the scheduling of it is real intense. Like today, right after we finish this, I'm recording another immediately. And so I just have to like marathon them. So yeah, probably just scheduling for me.
Yeah.
Crazy.
For me, it's like just the same personal stuff that makes life hard. Like I'm very hard on myself. I beat myself up a lot, and so I'm very impatient with myself. So I always get frustrated when the episodes aren't as good as I think they could be, or because I edit this as well, and so like I'm listening to it like literally right after we record it, and I'm like, oh shit, I could have said this and all that. And I'm not like a perfectionist, but I'm just hard on myself, and so it's just the same parts that make the rest of my life hard make the podcast hard. What are your? He also asks, what are your go-to snacks at the theater or at home for movie watching?
I feel like I don't really snack as much when I watch movies at home. Probably just whatever I have, like some goldfish or just like microwaved popcorn. At the movies, though, my girlfriend and I have been doing the whiplash method of just dumping candy in our popcorn.
Nice.
And I'll tell you, chocolate covered cookie dough inside of the popcorn,
Damn.
killer. Some good shit. So that's probably gonna take the cake for number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have like an endless stock of kettle corn, like microwave kettle corn at my house. Yeah, kettle corn hands down. And then when I go to the movies in Argentina, they of course do not have kettle corn. But they do have like sweet popcorn, and it's not caramel popcorn. It's like just sweet, and it's great. And I mix both. I do like a half and half bag and then struggle to like eat from the bottom so that I can mix it. But yeah, that's what I get.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
My go-tos are either popcorn or the Sour Bright crawlers, the gummy worms.
Yeah.
I had those watching Coda 2 days ago.
Nice. So both NATO and someone else asked this question. What was the movie or movies that inspired you to become a filmmaker? I believe we answered this on the last Q&A, but
I think so,
yeah, let's go to Sabrina first then.
It's the one I talked a full hour about. It's 2001.
Hey.
Yeah, couldn't have said anything else. Yeah, 2001, like, it was one of the first movies that I felt was good. I know that's so pretentious, but I am a little bit of a pretentious filmmaker, so how to do it. Yeah,
All
I mean,
filmmakers are.
The first one that you saw that was good.
I know. It's so pretentious, but it's the truth. Yeah, like I must have been like either 15 or something like that. And I had really liked movies and I enjoyed watching movies, but I mean it still happens to me to this day. Like I want a movie that's so immersive that you kind of like dissociate and you're so in it that as soon as the movie's over, you're like, oh fuck, I have things to do. And you completely forgot about everything else. And the first time that happened to me was with 2001. And I had been a very like, oh, this is good, but I would do better kind of kid every time I watched a movie. That was the first one where I was like, nope, no, I can't do better. No, this is great. Like, just floored. Yeah, 2001.
Excellent choice.
Nice.
Jared, what was yours again?
I think I said Pulp Fiction last time, which is dumb.
It's okay. It's not as dumb as mine.
I mean, yeah, it's fair. That was like the first one where I was like, oh, like this is like you can do unique shit like this. Like it doesn't have to be like, oh, man falls in love with a woman says no at first and then he wins her back type shit. I'm like you can kind of play with the form and structure of film. So he was like Pulp Fiction was probably the first to like kick things off. I think I also shouted out like newer movies like Her and some Edgar Wright shit that were inspirational for me.
Yeah.
Right now, honestly, like Edgar Wright and Taika Waititi are probably driving my like inspiration for what inspires me to keep doing shit. And the Daniels, honestly, they've been inspiring too. So there's some newer ones for you too.
I agree. I think the one that I answered in the last episode, and I still think this is true. But I would fantasize because I've been watching movies on TV and in the theaters my whole life. I've been very blessed to have like parents who like just let me watch every like classic when I was pretty young. But I used to fantasize about being like an actor and about being in the movie and being the star of the movie. But after seeing King Kong in 2006, the Peter Jackson movie, I was like, oh man, that was all the director. And that was the first time that I was 10 years old, and that was the first time I realized like, oh shit, like this is really no, I was 9 years old. I was like, wow, this is really all him and only exists because of him. And I was like, yeah, director. And of course my brain changed over the years and then went back to director. But yeah, that was it. Yeah. So that was the last question by NATO and the first question by David. I don't know where David lives, but I know he's all I know is that he's Laura's boyfriend. Laura is my friend. I've known Laura since first grade, and we've been friends for a very long time. But yeah, David also asks his second question, and I think last. Do you guys have a preferred film movement?
This one's hard, but I got them ahead of time, so I have an answer.
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
I'll give you some time. I'll talk as long as I can.
Please
do. Yeah, I'm not sure what they mean by preferred in terms of like watching or just in general the favorite. I my answer is third cinema, but not because it's like my favorite type of film to watch, but mostly because it's just something I really relate to, like being from Latin America.
Hmm.
It's just super inspiring. A lot of the films from that era and a lot of what the films are trying to do, it's like, yeah, that aligns with what makes sense to me. So I would say third cinema.
Nice.
Yeah.
I guess that wasn't very long. I'm sorry, Jared.
No,
No,
you're
no, it's
good.
fine. You gave me enough time. Um, I think I'll go, as much as pretentious Jared wants to be like French New Wave. Um, I think I'll go New Hollywood with
Uh-huh.
the '60s Scorsese type era. You just get a lot of good shit and some diversity out of it, with like Terrence Malick even being included and Coppola. I just think it kind of kicked off more modern cinema, which is tends to be what I watch. Um, I'll also do a hot take and say we're in a movement right now with artsy ass horror movies, like the
Yeah.
A24 neon led,
Yeah.
just artsy ass horror. I love that shit. Like genuinely, it's one of my favorite movements. If it ends up being one, um, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like we're like in kind of a new auteur movement because like
Yeah.
a lot of movies, even though like the box office is being dominated by movies that are made by committee, like
Hmm.
freaking Barry Jenkins, Ari Aster, and Robert Eggers, Lulu Wang, they all exist right now, and we get
Hmm.
to watch all their movies at the same time. Like that's crazy. Lily Amir,
Yeah.
Anna Lily Amirpour as well. Yeah, I
Yeah.
I love that we're in this kind of new age of auteurism in
Hmm.
cinema. Um,
Yeah. I genuinely think we're in one of the best periods of film ever. Like
Yes.
2016 alone. Are you kidding me?
yeah,
Like fuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, for influence, I'll probably pick German expressionism.
Mm.
You know, it is 100 years ago, and it's still, um, it's still all over every director that I just mentioned. Um, and then, but for the stuff that I like to watch, I like New Korean cinema. I also like New Hollywood. I also like um or I've been wanting to get into new Iranian wave. I just watched Close Up finally, and I want to watch all the Kiarostamis now. But yeah, definitely need to get on that. And David, jumping off of David's questions, I'll go to Laura's questions. Pick a movie to watch 48 hours straight, no breaks, just the same movie on a loop.
Fuck.
Mm, it's got to be a long one, I think.
Yeah.
I went the opposite, but go ahead.
You think short?
I picked a short one, but just oh, if you want me to go first, I can go first, or you guys can if you guys want to think.
I got nothing right now, so as long as it's not me.
So
I'm still
Ingmar
thinking.
Ingmar Bergman has a film called Persona that's like
Mm.
80 minutes long, and I don't understand it at all. Um,
Yeah.
it's
Good
kind
enough.
it's I think next to Citizen Kane, it is the most written about film ever made. And I think so. Let's see, 48, and then so 80 minutes is like 1.333. So 48 divided by 1 point. I'll just add a bunch of threes. So I would watch. So watching this movie 36 times in a row, I think I can start to understand it. That's how crazy this movie is.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell you read that question beforehand.
Oh, because like we'd be here until 4 if I didn't prep my answers. Yeah.
No, same. But I didn't have this one. I think my answer, I don't think it's that long, but just because it's like a whole ass vibe to me, all that heaven allows. I
Haven't
love that
seen it.
movie. Yeah, I don't know. It's like my favorite production design ever. And it's just so, it's like a mood. I would watch it over and over, and I have, like, I just have it in the background sometimes. I got the Criterion Channel DVD and just kind of play it. Because it's kind of like having art on the wall to me.
Yeah.
Like having that on the screen and just seeing it, it just kind of creates a feeling, and it's so aesthetic, and it like goes through all these seasons too, so we get some variety in there.
Oh, hell yeah. Douglas Sirk.
Yeah, that movie is so beautiful.
I need to watch it.
It's beautiful, beautiful. I would say I'll give you the DVD, because it's like all the versions online are these terrible like copies. So I'll give you my DVD.
Nice.
I'll mail it.
I don't know. Like, part of me wants to do something that like is fun and rewatchable, but I think that'll get me through like 20 hours, and then it'll start to fall off. For that, I'd probably pick like Hot Fuzz. I think that's probably the most rewatchable besides Scott Pilgrim, and I've already seen that probably for 48 hours straight, so I won't do that again. So my heart says that, but I think I will go with I'm gonna go with City of God, because I think it's got great cinematography, and by the end I might learn part of a new language, which is cool. And so I've got the entertainment factor, I've got the educational factor, and also just a beautiful movie to watch. So let's do it. One of those two.
Yeah.
So, Jared, you would be watching that movie 22.16 times in a row.
Yes.
And Sabrina, you'd be watching your pick 36 times in a row.
Damn.
That'd be fun. Okay, and Laura's last
No,
question.
it would not be fun. It'd be a bad time. It'd be fun for like 10 hours.
Laura's next question is: if you could eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Easiest question.
Go for it then.
With no health like side effects.
Yeah, just whatever.
Easiest question of my whole life.
Go for it then.
Let's hear it.
Fucking spaghetti. Spaghetti.
Yes.
Agreement.
Yes. You gotta honor my Swiss Italian last name. Yes. Oh my God. Spaghetti. Like homemade, like tomato sauce, the way my family makes it. Spaghetti. Easy.
Hell yeah.
Fair. My first immediate gut reaction was actually gnocchi, and so
Interesting.
I feel you on that. Yeah.
Carbs, bro.
I think
Right
I'm joining the carb train. Do we have to pick like one dish? Because the joy of gnocchi is you can like spice up. Like you could do pesto and it's still delicious. You could do like a red sauce. Like, how specific do I gotta get with this?
I'll allow adjustments because mine includes adjustments. Yeah.
Then gnocchi.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went with burritos and just changing the filling every time.
Ooh, can you do like spaghetti burritos? Like just literally any filling.
You could.
I have
It's
the
an
rest of my life to
abomination.
try. Yeah.
Yeah. When we worked at Chipotle, pretty much did just live off burritos.
Pretty much. I had to get real creative with that shit.
That's good. It's just a vessel. We kind of all chose like vessels, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You just
It's the
take-
only way to do it. If you're like plain cheese pizza and that's it, like you're an animal.
That's
you're an
pretty
insane
masochistic,
human.
yeah. Okay.
Oh my God.
I got 2 from my dad. Jeff Ankanan, thank you. What do you think is the best movie adaptation of a book pre-1995?
I did write a short list of this for this question because it was one of the ones you pre-sent us. Narrowing down that list, I'll give you a top 3, and I'll say, in no particular order, Blade Runner, Apocalypse Now, and The Shining.
Nice.
Ooh.
Very good picks. Very good picks. Sab?
In terms of like well, both. In terms of it being a good movie and a good adaptation, I chose A Clockwork Orange. I really love that book and I really love that movie. Ending, debatable, but that's a whole conversation. Yeah. The author and Stanley Kubrick got into like a crazy fight about the ending. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my favorite.
I feel like that's happened anytime Kubrick's done an adaptation. The
Yeah.
author and him just hate each other after.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, that's how you know you did something.
I picked The Silence of the Lambs. I think, even though it's like just a couple years before 1995, I think every single time you even talk about crime in a movie today, it's been influenced by Silence of the Lambs. Freaking even movies that aren't crime movies, like The Master, have directly been influenced by Silence of the Lambs. Like you can see Paul Thomas Anderson literally taking shots from Jonathan Demme as an homage, of course, because it's his favorite filmmaker. And I think the first like 3 shots of If Beale Street Could Talk, straight out of Jonathan Demme. Yeah, I think Silence of the Lambs, even though, it's a murder mystery, it's so much more than that. It's so psychologically crazy and interesting, and 2 of the best performances I've ever seen. I also want to shout out The Shawshank Redemption, even though that's a cliche pick. It deserves a shout out.
Both of those made my short list, so I agree.
Yeah. My dad also asks, who played the best Catwoman?
I think the only one I've seen was Halle Berry.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So that.
Yeah.
I've seen clips of Halle Berry, but then I guess I saw like Anne Hathaway. Yeah.
In The Dark
Probably
Knight
Anne
Rises.
Hathaway. Very illiterate answer though. I don't know.
That's okay. I mean, I'm
Resident comic book expert. What do you think?
It's not just the movies. My dad even is texting me right now because he's at work and he's working from home and he's listening probably. But he's including the 1966 stuff. I like the 1966 like cheesy campy Batman, and I also like the more serious stuff that came later on. I think Eartha Kitt is my favorite, like old Catwoman or older Catwoman. She was very glamorous, and back then Catwoman was a very glamorous, kind of nicer villain. And I think I'm very excited to see Zoe Kravitz in the new one. I think she'll absolutely nail the star-crossed lover side of Catwoman. And I like Anne Hathaway's performance as well. It's very grounded. It's very believable. They never say the word Catwoman in the movie. But my favorite, I think, of all time is Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns. I think she kind of took Catwoman from that like glamorous level to the this is a villain who's like kind of crazy, kind of sexy, kind of cool, and kind of reshaped the modern Catwoman image. That's my answer. Next up, Andrea asks, what has been the best thing that's happened since starting the podcast? You can answer in life or just best thing about the podcast.
I have one.
Go for it.
2020 ended.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. We made a vaccine pretty quick. That was sweet.
Hey.
Not a lot good has happened since we started this. Let's call it what it is. It's been a pretty shit year.
Great movie.
Great movies and great music. We've gotten a lot of great art and so that's worth rejoicing.
Hell
Good
yeah.
stuff. Yeah. I like that the podcast has like forced me to reconnect with you guys.
Yeah,
Not that I needed forcing, but like I'm not very good at like reaching out and like saying like, hey, like,
yeah,
I think talking to you, Jared, once a week has been nothing but a treat, and then also getting to talk to you, Sabrina, has been awesome as well.
Thank you.
And like, uh, yeah, dude, definitely worth it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Savannah, my friend since kindergarten, has sent me four. So first question is kind of similar to something that we've already been asked, but I guess we can take it in a different direction. What's a film that influenced you to go into the artistic direction that you're in right now?
Yeah, my answer is different from the previous just because it's like the current.
Yeah.
But my answer is Arrival. Yeah,
Amazing
Denis
movie.
Villeneuve is the fucking best filmmaker ever since Kubrick. In my opinion. So yeah, I mean, listening to him on the Deacons podcast, he was talking about films being immersive, and really that's all I think about. Like that's like the main barometer I'm using for every goddamn movie I see. That's the main reason why I love Dune. Films being immersive, I think, is such a important aspect of going to watch a movie. And especially in like experimental film, which is what I like, I think oftentimes it's like an afterthought for experimental film to be immersive, um and not just like the sound and the visuals are all in sync, but the fact that a movie can try to do all that but still alienate you. Yeah, that's my biggest influence right now. That's all I'm thinking about, just how a movie can try really hard to have you be in it but still somehow not capture you. But Arrival really did, and that was really influential in me.
It's an excellent film. Yeah.
Hell yeah. We stand Villeneuve on this podcast.
Of course.
Yeah, I'll have to probably right now. I kind of answered this in the last one when I said Edgar Wright, Taika Waititi.
Mhm.
I'm also starting to dip my interest into more surrealistic stuff like Fellini, going way back and shit like that. Yeah, I already answered this question pretty much, but I'll throw Fellini in there too.
Yeah, I mean, talk about surrealism. I mean, David Lynch, and kind of opening that gateway in my brain was crazy. Like, I remember just having the fattest freaking smile on my face when I watched the pilot of Twin Peaks. And since then, I've seen plenty of other David Lynch projects, and he's my favorite director right now. Yeah, definitely, the king of influencing me, and well regarded as a master, even among the best today. I think, yeah. Second question by Savannah. Are there any films with major hidden secrets in the making of or the background of the movie that people typically don't know about, such as somebody actually dying on set or something along those lines?
Yeah, the first one that jumped out to my mind was The Curse of, why am I blanking on the name? We just watched it for our horror movie thing. Not The Exorcist.
The Shining?
No. Fuck, why can't I remember? It started with the P. It was one of my favorite movies ever.
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why can't I remember? Yeah, everybody kept dying on Poltergeist. Like the little girl died when she was like 6, like 3 years after the movie. Like the older sister died after the second one. Like the movie was cursed, like so many people did.
Damn.
So that was a big one, and then also Succubus Hellbent, the two people who died on that set,
Oh.
completely unnecessarily for the worst fucking movie.
That's so sad.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so
imagine.
funny, but it's funny.
Yeah, imagine that being your legacy.
No, no, I'm so sorry.
So for the people
God.
listening that aren't Brian and Angela, this movie about a succubus features a lot of jet fighter planes, and yeah, that's where the $1 million budget went, and it resulted in death.
Yeah. There's no reason for it to even be in the movie. Like, there's no plot reasons for it. Just so
so
they
bad.
could say, you let a skirt fly a plane. Like, there's
So bad.
It's the most testosterone heavy film ever.
absolutely.
It's so duty. Everything is so duty about it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have an answer, Sabrina?
2001.
Oh, goody.
Surprise,
Predictable
surprise.
bitch right here. Yeah, I mean, it's not like people dying or anything, but it's one of those movies that reading about it made me like appreciate it even more. Yeah, which was, deep dive homework I had to do for the podcast. And I recommend, everyone reads up on that. Because some movies, I don't know, I'm sure a lot of work goes into them, but they're, standard, typical. They go with what, we learn at fucking film school. But this one was really interesting. It had so many moving parts, like fucking NASA scientists working on it, and all the crazy sponsors like Hilton sponsors, and it was really interesting to read about it.
Yeah. That reminds me of Interstellar, how they did so much research for it that they published like a paper on black holes because they found new information on it.
Oh,
Like,
crap.
that shit's crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Have you guys seen the movie Milo and Otis?
No.
So it's a movie about a cat and a dog, and it was originally made in Japan, and then dubbed, and then kind of reworked as a weird little kids movie for in the UK with a British narrator, basically just doing all the voices of the animal and like kind of talking in storybook style over the movie. And I remember they showed us this in grade school. And apparently, I didn't even know this until recently. Like, the movie was under serious like investigation for animal harm, because they were really actually making the animals do like crazy stunts. Like, there were rumors that because there's a scene where because it's all real. Like they can't do CGI back then. They can't do a whole lot of stuff. So I remember as being a kid, like watching this pug fight a bear. And I'm like, how did they do that? And turns out they really had a pug. They really had a few pugs fight a bear, and a lot of animals got hurt. A lot of animals got killed.
No.
Yeah, they put cats in a basket and had them float down the river.
No. Oh my
A few
God.
cats drowned. Yeah, dude.
No.
It's so. Like this movie that I was like, yeah, this is the best talking animal movie. Hell yeah. I'm like, this, I forgot this was the 80s in Japan. Whoopsie daisy.
Damn.
Yeah, Babe didn't drown no cat.
To this day, no one knows the like extent of what was going on that set, because people are still denying it that worked on the movie. People are
Crazy.
still, but like, I don't know. Like, how do you, like it's a wide shot of it's not like no shaky cam close up of a pug fighting a bear. I have no idea how they, unless it's real, I don't like.
Jesus.
Yeah,
It's crazy. I would totally watch a documentary on this. Like,
yeah.
easy.
Last, no, sorry, she has two more. Jeez. Are there any films that really move you emotionally? If so, then why?
Fucking all of them.
Yeah. I'm a very easy movie crier. I don't even cry in real life, but I cry when I watch movies pretty easily.
Film kids
But
processing their emotions on the screen. What the
Yeah.
hell?
True.
yeah,
Me too, though. Me too.
but my answer, I picked Your Name. I just weep throughout the entire second half of the
Oh
movie.
my gosh.
It's a mixture of sadness, of joy, and of wonder, and I highly recommend it for everyone.
Yeah. Recently, both Coda and Bergman's Island made me cry this week.
Nice.
Yeah, like every movie that's somewhat emotional, I'm like at least tearing up. Like,
Yeah.
no matter how dumb or tacky, like, I don't know. It just gets me every time. But the one that makes me the most emotional is It's Such a Beautiful Day, which is a animated film about a man who's like going through dementia, but it's from his perspective. And there's one fucking scene where he's like on his deathbed and his whole family's like around him. And it like shows his perspective. They all have like pig faces and like cows and stuff. And he doesn't know what's going on. And he like finally clicks that he's been fearing death his whole life. And now it's here. And it's just this stupid, dumb, awkward moment where we're all just looking at each other and like nobody really knows the weight of the situation. And so it's just lame. And he's like trying to tell people that. And he's like, don't worry about life because it's all meaningless in the end. And he's just like, it smells like dust and moonlight. And everybody's like, what the fuck? And it just immediate weeping, like right there. That movie gets me.
Damn. Yeah, I wrote in my notes, kids movies. Oh my God.
Yeah.
My mom told me I must have been like 4 or 5 years old. We had gone to the movie theater to watch Tigger movie. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. She was telling me that I was crying, like 4 years old, crying because Tigger doesn't have a family. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, oh my gosh. That movie still makes me cry.
Do you
Do
you remember how it ends?
It's been so long.
Okay.
Is it dramatic? Doesn't he just like accept his like Winnie the Pooh fucking family?
Well, I don't want to say, but it's freaking awesome. Like
Maybe I need to rewatch it.
It's still in my head after like 20
I
years.
need to watch it for the first time.
Yeah.
I just remember like Tigger in the snow and he's trying to find his family tree.
Dude.
This movie.
So good. So good.
Oh my gosh. Tigger movie. Not even kidding.
Fun fact, Winnie the Pooh is now public domain. So we can all make our own. We can all make our own Winnie the Pooh movies.
Tigger movie parody?
Dude.
Down.
Don't make a parody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Winnie the Pooh, but the honey is heroin.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
Savannah's last question. Which film do you think has the best soundtrack?
Scott Pilgrim.
I hear voices, animal noises. Love it.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
What's
Radiohead's producer made music for that. I have two.
Maybe someday I'll enjoy them as a band.
Before we say other people's answers, what's your favorite Sex Bomb song?
Garbage Truck.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Unanimous.
I think it's gotta be.
Truck.
Hell yeah.
Amazing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite soundtrack is Sing Street, which we have an entire episode about. So definitely check that out.
Hell yeah.
Not only does it have...
That's one of the most rewatchable movies, too.
Yeah. Not only does it have great original songs, it has Duran Duran. So, hell yeah. Like...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My answer is 8th grade. I hadn't, like, paid enough attention to the soundtrack throughout the movie. It was one of those things where I looked it up afterwards and was like, I love this. But it really came from my love for the Living with Yourself soundtrack, which I didn't put because it's not a movie. But it's the same composer, Anna Meredith. She makes the fucking craziest, best soundtrack. I highly recommend.
Absolutely agree.
We got another bunch of questions, this time from Pauline from Chicago.
The Beast.
The Beast. She sent us 7 questions in the last Q&A.
Oh my gosh.
But today, she sent us 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, actually.
She likes us less.
The last, probably. No, the last is a 2-parter. But her first question is, what country would you like to see more films from?
I've been wanting to watch more French movies. For some reason, it's something that at SF State wasn't really all that promoted. I don't know why, but there's some movies we've watched a fucking billion times. I'm not mad, but yeah, there's a few we've watched a billion times, and then there's some we haven't even touched on at film school. And French New Wave is definitely it. I bought the Agnes Varda box set during the Criterion sale, and so I'm like, here, force yourself. And that's my plan. It's staring at me every time I'm watching some stupid Netflix thing. So I'm hoping to watch more from France.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. You should also make sure you hit the new French shit with Julia Dick. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Jared, take it away.
Julie D.
Julie D. Yeah, a lot of good new shit coming out of France too. Good answer. For that train of thought, I would say Italy. I feel like I haven't seen that many Italian films besides like 8.5, Bicycle Thieves, and that's it. That's the only movies they've ever made. So I think it'd be cool to dive in deep to Italian cinema because they didn't talk about it much in film school either. Yeah. But also, like, I'm a slut and a half for some good Korean cinema now. So the more that comes out of there, the more I want. And so, like, for pure quantity and quality, Korea can spoon feed me cinema all day.
Yup. I would like to see more art house films from India and Iran, because I am just a baby. I'm eating baby food when it comes to those countries, man. And I want the meat and potatoes. And I freaking, have you guys seen no, I think it's called Taste of Cherry or something like that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Taste of Cherry. It's only 90 minutes. It came out in 1997, but actually, so I've seen 2 Kiarostami films, and that's the second one that I saw. Yeah, dude, crazy stuff. The way that Iran approached cinema was entirely independent from the Western stuff, and so it's really interesting to see where all those different directors branched out and made their own thing. And then India, of course, has been entirely its own thing since the 20s.
True.
And they're awesome, like at producing cinema their own way. Also Argentina. I mean, I was
gonna say.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Like,
you guys aren't my friends anymore. Bye.
No, I love Lucrecia Martel. I watched La Ciénaga at SF State actually.
Yeah.
And I fell in love, and so I want to dive a whole lot deeper into Latin cinema.
Yeah. Send me some Rex.
Oh yeah. The Milk of Sorrow. Watch that. It's not Argentine, it's Peruvian, but damn, that movie's so good.
Then I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Damn.
Argentinian movies only.
I'm not mad.
Um, is Motorcycle Diaries Argentine as well?
Yeah, I mean it's technically like a
Because the
like a
main actor's
co-production.
Mexican.
Yeah, which I'm like, okay, we want some Argentine representation, but
Yeah.
it's fine. He did a
Yeah.
great job. It's a co-production. Latin America does that a lot, where we're like, hey Spain, let's make a movie, and we do that. Or this one was like cross Latin America, so it's like hard to pinpoint where it's from, but great movie. Also, The Angel, I think it's still on Amazon. You have to buy it, but whoever's listening to this, I'll give you my Amazon password.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it into the mic right now.
Wait, Jared, have you seen Motorcycle Diaries?
No.
Right up your alley, dude. Right up
Yeah?
your alley. It's
I'm here for it.
it's a road movie that's basically the origin story of Che Guevara.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
It's great. It's so
Great,
good. It's so
great
good.
soundtrack. Great soundtrack.
Amazing
So good.
soundtrack. Shout out Santo Alaya. What's your guys' favorite piece of movie trivia? We kind of
I
already.
had so much for this once we like dropped the question on, but I think the number one movie trivia for me is the Wizard of Oz, the jacket that the wizard wears. They just bought at a random thrift store, and the lining had a name that looked familiar, and it was the jacket from the author of the Wizard of Oz that he just donated to a thrift store, and they happened to just get it for the movie.
I did not know
Shut
that.
up.
That's
That's
awesome.
insane.
That's so good. Holy crap. That's great.
No.
What
Nice.
the fuck? Now I have to rewatch it. That's crazy.
Yeah, I had immediately I wrote down 5 movie trivia things for this question.
I felt so every time I had to Google these, I was like, this is cheating. I have to say something I already knew. So the thing I already knew, 2001, the Stars Department. I talk about that all the time. It's like there was a whole department dedicated to making the stars. Like I love it. I know. I got one topic, but
It's all good.
yeah, I just
It's
really
all
like
good.
it.
It's a great fun fact, so I can't judge.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's-
Yeah.
Yeah. No shame in plugging your favorite movie.
Yeah.
My piece of trivia is more like an observation or a background detail. But in the show Community, the first 3 seasons I think are absolutely perfect. In season 1, they say the word Beetlejuice once, and then they say you can't say that 3 times. In the second season, they say it once more, and then as soon as Annie, played by Alison Brie, says it in the middle of a conversation in season 3, you see Beetlejuice walking in the background out of focus.
I didn't know that.
As soon as she says the word Beetlejuice, you gotta really look for it, but it's there.
Great.
Yeah. So Beetlejuice in the first 3 seasons of Community is my favorite.
Best show
piece of
ever
trivia.
made.
Yeah.
Best show
that's-
ever made.
What a fantastic show. I could rattle off the other 4 if you want. If you want some more movie trivia. I
Let
don't
me
know if
see
you've
how
got
many.
time.
Yeah,
or-
we have a lot of questions. If we have time at the end, let's do it.
Gotcha.
I love it.
What's the worst book to movie adaptation, and how would you fix it?
I'm fucking ready.
Go for it.
Let's hear it.
The Hobbit. What the fuck happened?
I forgot about The Hobbit. I'm so mad that I didn't say The Hobbit.
So bad. I can't believe it was 3 movies. It did not have to be milked that much. I mean, The Hobbit is like, it's like a kid's book. It's supposed to be simple, straightforward. Talk about immersive. That movie was not. I mean, there were scenes that I had read in the book that I was so looking forward to. There's a sunrise. I think it's like either before like the Forbidden Forest stuff or right after, but it's around that time. And it's like so beautifully described in the book. It's like a full like 2 pages or something of this sunrise. And that's it. But it was 2 seconds in the movie. And I was like, that's because you were showing me stupid fucking eagles or whatever. Like, I don't need to see them flying around. I need to see the sunset. Like, yeah, it just, I think it was trying to be Lord of the Rings, and it's not. Like, The
Yeah.
Hobbit is not Lord of the Rings, and that's kind of the point.
And the main bad guy like dies 200 years before the Hobbit even starts in the books. It's like, come on, man. Like,
Fucking ridiculous. It's no, it's so bad. I could redo that and just I wish it could be more of like a immersive, fun movie. The way like the first Harry Potter movies can be like just a little maybe more campy and just everything about the world and getting to know the world. And even if it's the same world as Lord of the Rings, like I think it was a completely new audience watching these movies. Sure, a lot of Lord of the Rings fans, but at the time it came out, it was a bunch of new people. And it's supposed to be for kids. And I wish the movie was made for kids. Yeah.
Jared.
I don't read a ton, but I think the biggest bastardization of a book into a movie has got to be World War Z. It's such a cool, interesting, unique book.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, let's just make another zombie movie. Like, make it documentary style. Do like people's individual stories with like fake interviews and shit, and like have them tell what they did. And you've got the greatest zombie movie ever made. But
Yeah.
what we got was just like, oh, the zombies are kind of fast this time. That's cool.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad movie, but it's certainly one of the worst adaptations, translation wise. Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Was it Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt,
the?
I think
Yeah,
so,
like it was only about Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And the whole the Pepsi, was it Pepsi? I forget. There was a whole product placement. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah. Like it's a fine movie. Like I'm entertained by it, but like going back and reading the book after, totally different fucking world.
Yeah. I read the book before and I was like waiting, like, where's the pilot? Where's the Russian teenagers? Where's the Indian captain who sacrifices himself? Like,
where's the mentally disabled girl who watches her parents die? Like,
amazing. Yeah, I actually differ with Sabrina. I did not like The Great Gatsby film by Baz Luhrmann. I think it's I don't think it's bad. I think we'll just never get a great adaptation of
you'll never get The Great Gatsby.
The Great Gatsby because the prose is so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. It's just not it's just a really hard to translate book. Because of the different tones in the book. And I don't think it translates well live action. To me, the tonal shifts always felt so harsh.
That's really interesting.
So what I would do is I would make it an anime. And I would do it all.
Oh my God.
I would do it all in Japanese so you can capture all the camp, you can capture all the extravagance, and you can capture the melancholy. I just picture...
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree.
I have to picture in my head a Great Gatsby anime. So, Great Gatsby! Like,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's the most insane answer we've heard today.
That's my secondary answer. My real answer is Aragon. I think.
Fuck that movie.
The Inheritance Cycle is my favorite young adult series of all time. And they butcher it in the first movie. I would cast better leads. No disrespect to Jeremy Irons. I think he's good as Bronn. But I would be more faithful to the source material because the stakes are so high in there. I would make it a mini series so that you can really take as much time as you want, especially with the poetry and with the quiet scene between characters. And I wouldn't change the hair color of the characters. I don't know why. Like I have no problem with like changing ethnicity of characters when you cast, but like keep the hair color. The hair color is essential. Like Arya needs black hair. Aragon needs brown hair. Like, come on, man. Don't make them both blonde for no reason. Ugh. It's lame.
Fair.
Um,
Yeah, I was real disappointed as a kid watching those. I was like, this isn't what?
Yeah.
What's happening?
um, Pauline's last question: what famous movie location would you like to visit, and what location would you most like to film in? I picked the Wadi Desert to visit from Lawrence of Arabia and Dune. I think it's just a beautiful setting. Every single time I'm Googling it, I'm like, this is my wallpaper now. Like, this is it. So I would love to go there. And there have been 3 attempts at adapting my favorite novel, Blood Meridian. One by Ridley Scott, the next by Tommy Lee Jones, and the next by James Franco. All of them have failed so far. I would like to do Blood Meridian as a 4.5-hour movie, and I would love to shoot it on location in the locations mentioned in the book. So border towns in Texas, Chihuahua, Mexico, Yuma, Arizona, and San Diego, California.
Nice.
Yeah.
To visit, I'd probably pick Petra in Jordan from The Last Crusade.
Hell yeah.
Because it's a fucking temple carved out of a rock, and that's cool as shit.
Yeah.
That's just beautiful. And I think it'd be fun to go to Jordan. To film in, I think it would be funny to do a real serious medieval movie at Dwone Castle from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Just like not even acknowledge the silliness that's occurred there.
Nice.
I would love to do like a tour because it's all over the world, right? But I would do like a Dune location tour kind of thing, like current Dune. I just think it's so crazy. I think they shot in like Ireland and then, you know, in all these like desert areas in like the Middle East, like all these crazy, you know, point to point on the globe locations. I would love to do that. And then the location I would most like to film in is Argentina. I mean, one day I'm going to have so much goddamn money. I'm going to be like, hey, all my friends, let's make a movie where I'm from. Yeah. I really would love to just pay people to get on a plane and have all my SF crew like in Argentina making a movie. That's like my dream. Like I would love that. Yeah.
You're gonna fly me out to be a grip.
Yes. No, yes. Like this is the ideal. Like we got hella money to just do that. But I mean it's pretty cheap to film in Argentina and there'd be like hella accommodations. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's not that crazy. But
no, yeah, that's great.
The flights are pricey. That's all. Yeah.
I'll probably be in Argentina on that trip I mentioned. So
for real?
Meet me there. Yeah, we're planning on a South America bout with like Peru and Argentina being the
That's
main
awesome.
ones. So
it's so cheap right now.
Yeah, meet me there.
Go spend your dollars. It's hella cheap.
Cool. I got a couple personal questions. This one
Not
is from
answering. Next question.
This one is from Zach in Camarillo, California. Thank you, Zach. Would you rather be feared or loved?
Damn.
I'm going to go with love because I can't see any universe where anybody fears me. I am a spaghetti noodle of a man.
I'm scared.
Yeah. What about you?
I think loved. There's no respect and fear. Yeah. It's like a whole debate, but
depends.
I say loved.
Yeah. I say loved for my personal life, but what would you guys rather be like on set? Like, would you rather
loved? I want people to work with me again.
Yeah. I feel like this is kind of a shitty answer. I feel like people are more likely to volunteer overtime if they love you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
True. Exploit those people.
No,
they might have to.
They're going to get paid overtime.
Make them work for exposure.
No, they're gonna get paid. um, but yeah, I run really long scenes, so
True. I've
I'd
been
rather-
there for them.
I, yeah.
I think, I mean, I saw this like TikTok about how to be a good teacher. I don't know why this shit's on my For You page, but it is. And this teacher was saying, like, you have to be loving and kind and there for your students. Sorry for all the sirens. San
Hold for
Francisco.
siren.
But she was saying, like, you have to be loving and affectionate, but then like you could all of a sudden like snap and be like, what the fuck did you just say? So maybe both.
Okay. It's about a healthy balance.
Yeah.
Cool. Next up, I got 3 from Danny, from Oxnard, California. What do your lives look like 1, 3, and 7 years from now?
One, I'll be traveling, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan. Please, Corona, chill out. In 3, I'm planning on going back to SF after that. And settling down there and trying to actually make a career for once instead of just working shitty video related jobs. And then 7, who fucking knows? I don't. Even 3 is a bit of a stretch saying that might happen. 7, probably going to be a billionaire, making movies all over the world. Yeah.
From your digital real estate.
Paying for our movies in Argentina.
My NFTs are going to be blowing the fuck up by then.
Still don't know what any of those words mean.
Argentina is a place in South America.
I knew you were going to say that as soon as I said that. Okay.
It's non-fungible. You can't funge it.
Yeah. Obviously.
Come on.
We're 2 hours in. Let's move on. Okay. What was? Did you already answer?
No. Do you want to go?
No, go.
Okay. Yeah, I think within a year, I'm hoping to be more like established in my industry, not be afraid of, I have no jobs this month. Holy crap. That's definitely the dream.
Relatable.
And then 3 years, I would love to get over my fear of sending my movies to film festivals, which I have not done yet. It's just been too much.
Go for it, man.
Yeah, hoping to like by then I am in a bunch of them and already over it, and it's like easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then 7 years, a director. Like I want to be a director. I want that to be my full-time goddamn job.
Yeah.
7 years. Yeah.
In 1 year, I want to try to move out of Ventura County. In 3 years, I want to have at least 5 shorts completed. Hopefully 3 this year. We'll see. It's a lot. 7 years. This is kind of like just freaking shot in the dark. But however small it is, I don't care. I want a production company so that I can own what I make.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Danny's next question is, what are your passions other than movies?
None. Just kidding. This is
Live
all I
by
do.
the film, you die by the film.
Do you guys need time? Because I have an answer already.
You can go first.
Go.
Wait, who goes?
I'll go.
Me?
Fine.
Anybody. I feel like I've gone first too many times, so that's my rule.
Yeah. My faith. Yeah, that's like the foundational thing. Food, of course. I'll eat everything and make anything that I can afford ingredients for.
Yeah.
I love writing of various kinds. You know, not just. I don't really like to read screenplays that much, but I do it so that I can learn. But you know, there are some screenplays out there that are fun to read. But yeah, I love reading books and poems and even some like monologues and interviews and stuff. Um, I love collecting comic books and other physical media. I think the more we see physical media die out, the more I want to preserve it. And you know, my dream home. Someone asked me what that was a few months ago, and I was like, you know, I don't need a fancy house, but I just want like a space big enough to like make a library of like all the stuff that I've collected, and that's all I need. Um, and then I also love most visual arts, mostly painting, but you know, super cool stuff.
Nice. Sabrina?
Yeah. Food for sure. That's on that list. I love cooking. I'll like spend most of my day probably cooking. I love it. But it's the eating for me. I mean, cooking's great, but yeah, it's because I like to eat. Singing. I've been singing since I was 5, but it's like almost like a secret. I don't really, talk
Shout
about
out to the cover we made you do here.
Jesus Christ. I died when I re-listened to that. Someone actually forced me. They were like, oh no, you're gonna listen to it again. I'm like, oh God. I was literally dying. No, but I've been taking classes for a very long time now, and like I have like a vocal coach, and we finally kind of found like this new voice, and that's awesome. I don't know what to do with it, but like great. Yeah, I just bought some more like watercolor stuff, so I'm hoping to get back into watercolors, which is something I used to do. And I'm writing poetry again, which is nice. That's
nice.
Yeah, what I'm doing.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
He also sorry. Go for it.
For me, it's movies and music is what I always tell people. Big music nerd. I'm constantly listening to something. Besides that, cooking, big old cooking. I actually like cooking as much as I like eating. Probably like I'm a freak like that.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun. Been starting to get into soups, which is cool. I never made soups, so we're getting into soups. Stew year, stew me.
So lame.
I never said my jokes were good here. All right, people should expect the bare minimum. Yeah, that I've been trying to write more, but I always get too hard on myself. The second I write something, I'm like, this is terrible. I'm throwing it away. And then reading has been a recent thing. I used to read as like a kid, fell off the train up until like the last year, and now I've been trying to re-inhale books. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hell yeah. Danny's last question is your favorite starter Pokemon and why? I am not a Pokemon guy, so I just picked Niabi because it evolves into Incineroar. And I like Incineroar in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And that's the only reason I picked that one. But yeah, you guys, I don't know if you're Pokemon people.
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely am.
I'll go next because it'll be a boring answer. But Bulbasaur, because he's cute. That's all.
Yeah.
Literally, haven't seen much Pokemon. Maybe like 2 episodes as a kid, but should probably get on that.
Yeah.
Bulbasaur is the correct answer because in 3rd generation and before, he just rolls the first 2 gyms, so you just have it on easy mode. Rock is weak to him, so Brock's out of the way. Misty's weak to him, so Water's out of the way. It's just the easy mode. Plus, you got great fire types and water types already, but there's boring ass leaf types. So Bulbasaur is the correct answer.
Nerd.
I knew that.
Yeah, great minds.
Okay. What is your favorite rom-com.
Scott Pilgrim, does that count?
Yeah, that counts.
It's romantic. It's funny. Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. Great answer. I'll avoid saying it because I've used Scott Pilgrim on almost every question here. I'll say The Big Sick. Big fan of Big Sick.
Great movie. Great movie. I'm gonna go with His Girl Friday. Very, very fast paced, high stakes rom-com. Super good. And 10 Things I Hate About You. I love that movie a lot.
Yeah, it's great.
Heath Ledger fan my whole life. Yeah, super good one. What is the most romantic movie ever? These are both from my mom, by the way.
The most romantic movie.
Yeah.
Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Prejudice.
Which one?
Yeah, fair.
So
Which
good.
one? Which
Pride
one?
and Prejudice?
No, which Pride and Prejudice? I know.
Oh, the like 2000s one. I actually haven't seen the other ones. We recently watched Sense and Sensibility at my house, and that was great.
Dude, so good, right?
So good. So good.
Yeah. That's the one that made Hugh Grant a star. Yeah. Jared, what's your answer?
I'm going to go Call Me By Your Name.
Great movie.
I think it's got love bleeding through it in a nice and unique way.
Nice. I'm going to go with the Before trilogy by Richard Linklater, starring Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. All three are just like 2 hours of people talking, and they're flawless. And I'll also bring in The Wedding Singer because I love a good Adam Sandler rom-com, and that one is my favorite. And Your Name. I'll throw in Your Name as well. I forgot about that.
Great, yeah.
And then my mom's last question is, what's your favorite TV comedy?
I mean, big shout outs to Community. It's hard to top.
Yeah. This is such a hard question.
Yeah, this is...
Fleabag is so good.
Fleabag's excellent, yeah.
Fleabag's the best. Community's great. Living with Yourself is great. I could go on forever, but
yeah. I might actually say Atlanta. I think it's got the best balance of comedy and drama, which is really what you want with comedy in general.
Yeah.
It's not like the funniest, but I think it executes it super well.
Yeah. I think it's the best show going on right now, for sure.
Yeah.
Just overall. My favorite TV comedy though is South Park. I think no other show has been able to make me laugh every single episode, and still do so after years of watching. And on top of that, they're just great at doing 360 comedy. They make fun of everybody. They do discriminate, but it's everybody gets equally shit on in South Park, and I like that a lot. What is the strangest thing in your refrigerator? This is from Michael DeRazio. I think he's your friend, Jared.
Yeah. He's in Utah.
Ooh,
Poor guy. Unfortunate for him.
hey, Sundance, huh? Utah? Right?
Yeah, but Southern Utah, like it doesn't even have that. They got a Shakespeare festival and tons of racists.
Love it. I'm gonna go with sweet potato paste. It's like this Argentine thing, and you make pastelitos, which are like, you take an empanada dough that you just buy from the store. You can even buy it in SF. And you wrap a little cube of the sweet potato paste in it. You roll it up, put it in the oven, and these little like sweet things are just so good.
nice.
And, yeah, you can also eat it with just cheese, just plain, and that's the weirdest thing, but not weird to me.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. I have vegan ranch dressing in my fridge, which feels
you
like a
vegan?
crime. I'm not. My girlfriend was like, "I'll try it. I'm trying to cut out dairy as much as I can." It's not the worst thing I've tasted. I expected it to be awful, but it's not ranch.
Oregon would have that shit.
Big Oregon energy right there.
I have 2 opened bags of bacon bits because we forgot that one bag was open and we opened another one, so now we have 2 opened bags of bacon bits that we don't use ever. John from San Francisco, if you guys remember John, asks, "Why are you 2 so damn sexy?" I'm sure if he knew we had a guest, he would have said 3.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. Thank you, John, for the compliment.
Disagree, but
I can answer
genetics, I guess.
I can answer it
Go for it.
All right.
because they got big film brains, and that's all.
Oh, thanks.
It's the key to any woman's heart.
Yeah, honestly, some type of women, yeah.
Fair. A real specific niche group.
As of state film school girls, yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, I wish. No, I'm
Just put a bunch of trivia on your Tinder profile, see if it works.
Yeah, there you go.
It doesn't work. No, I'm just
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I haven't tried that.
This podcast got sad.
I got a mirror selfie of Stanley Kubrick on my Hinge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Chest.
There you go. Okay, so like this is a crazy thing about like I think us as a group, because someone just called us sexy. Someone just gave us a really nice compliment, and already I'm like shitting on myself. Like,
Yeah, immediately.
I think that's something I need to change. Anyway, Angela's got a few, so we can bust through them real quick. Most mouth-watering cuisine from any movie. I went with from any movie. So I went with the Otoro from Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
The feast and Spirited Away.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, are you talking about the first time when like the parents turn into pigs, or the second time when like what's his name? Is it
Honestly,
No-Face?
both. But
Okay.
both, but my immediately thought was the first.
Okay. I got same answer, but I'll just be different. In Kiki's Delivery Service is like this fish casserole.
Dude, so good.
I love that so much.
Freaking love Kiki's Delivery Service.
It's great, and it's like steaming, and the girl at the party's like, "Oh, disgusting, ew!" And every time I saw that, I was like, "No, that looks so good." Yeah.
The egg yolk scene in Tampopo.
Sure. Literally mouth-watering.
Yeah.
What scene still makes your gut bust every time you watch it?
Ooh, how so? What does
Like,
that mean?
Like
Gut-
laugh.
Yeah, like
Oh, okay.
like laughing so hard your stomach hurts. I'm gonna go with when Gene impersonates Bob in Bob's Burgers. And he shaves off his own hair to make a bald spot in his head, and then uses that hair to make a mustache.
Yes.
So good. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the death of Stalin when they're doing like the see, that's so funny. I was dying.
Yeah.
I went to go see it for the first time in the old United Artists that was like near Stonestown, which had like 2 screens, tiny theater.
I saw
it was all old people. I was crying. Everyone was just watching. I was like dying laughing. It was such a good time.
Yeah, literally the exact experience I had watching it was at like a small varsity theater with all old people who did not understand what was happening.
So good. So good.
I'll go with anytime they're in the cockpit in Airplane.
Yes.
I knew you would choose
Really?
Airplane. I knew you
Yeah,
would choose that.
you have to. It's the funniest movie ever made. So,
Why choose film as your preferred media as opposed to others?
It's
Because I
so
tried music and failed.
Damn. Ouch.
2 types of people.
Pain. Um, yeah,
It's so fun.
I think for me, if it wasn't film, it would be books, but I don't have the patience. And I also just love seeing and hearing the story, and I think that's the thing is the hearing that takes it to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you say, Sabrina, before I cut you off?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if mine got cut off, but I said it's so versatile. That was so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Just hearing both at the same time. That was great. Yeah, I think it's like it combines like visual art you might see at a museum, and then the auditory experience, and it's moving. It's just so many aspects at once. Like, sure, you could do music, but then it's just one thing. I think film can do all of it at once, and that's why it's so great.
Yeah, I agree. I think there is like a beauty in the simplicity of like painting or music where it's like, here is just color on fabric and like get something out of it. But I think nothing matches the all-encompassing nature of film.
Yeah.
Faux show. Most embarrassing thing you've done on set. I made my first attempt at directing other people in 2015, right after I finished high school, and I forgot the last 6 shots of my movie, so I had to call them in for another day. So I was like, "Please lie on the ground and pretend to be dead." They were like, "Oh, okay, you forgot that." I was like, "Yeah, I forgot the dead bodies in the movie where people die." Yeah, that was pretty humiliating.
I'm like trying to think. There's a ton. I just block them out of my brain really
Good.
hard.
That's the way to do it.
I guess the most recent one was in Argentina when I was working for this production company. And I was like, tienen una extensión, which I was just translating extension cable, like literally translating it. They're like, an extension? Like, what are you fucking talking about? And then I was like, a cable that's longer. And then they were like, oh, an alargue, which I'm like, what the fuck? Shut up. I didn't know that. And then they made fun of me for the fucking longest time. It was hilarious though. But now I know what it's called.
That's great.
Damn. Maybe having to go to day 2 of filming and being like, hey, so all our footage is gone.
Ouch. Yeah.
on my thesis. Pretty much everything about that shoot was embarrassing just because everything went poorly.
Shout out to that DP.
Yeah. Woohoo. Turtle Man.
Yep. Last question from Angela. Thank you, Angela. These are the top list the top 3 cruelest villains of all time. I had to really think about like how I define cruelty. So I went with Pennywise, Calvin Candy from Django Unchained, and Darth Vader.
All great answers. I'll go. I agree with Pennywise. I think he deserves a spot. And then I'll do Jigsaw as one of them. And Adolf Hitler. He's from the movie.
That's so funny. Yeah, I'll do 2 people. Scar from Lion King. Damn. As a kid, that's hard to watch. Yeah. And then my second one is not a movie, but it's Game of Thrones. And it's someone that like I had seen just a little bit of Game of Thrones and I hadn't really watched enough of the show, but I'm that type of person that has like big opinions before I should. So I was like, this guy is hot. I love this actor. He's great. His character, awesome. Love him. Hadn't even seen like most of what this character does. And it's Ramsay Bolton. For the longest time, people were like, who's your favorite character? And I was like, Ramsay Bolton. They were like, what?
Dude.
And then I watched it and I was like, nope, that's not my answer.
Oh man. No
Insane.
takebacks.
Insane.
He's your favorite.
Love of your life.
Great actor. Great actor. Otherwise,
Yes.
not down.
Great answers all. Spencer, I don't know where he lives. I'm sorry, Spencer. And I just recently discovered that he's a cinephile because he commented on one of my Instagram things. But he said, "How did the invention of the film camera change humans as a species?" This is kind of a hard one.
Yeah,
Freak them out first.
True.
Sorry. scared the shit out of people at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah. I think something about humans has always been voyeuristic and has always craved entertainment, and I think cinema kind of heightened that. And I think especially the voyeuristic part, like, you know, if you told people 1,000 years ago what a camera could do to for what a person could do to another person with a camera, and how you could, you know, build someone's life up and destroy it, I think, yeah, crazy.
I think it took the oldest tradition humans have besides eating, shitting, and breathing, which is telling stories, and it almost perfected it. Like, just it kicked off like, hey, let's do this as best as we fucking can, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I said scared the shit out of people because of that. The footage of the train. Like,
I knew exactly the shot that you were talking about.
Yeah, the shot of like the train coming into the station and like how everyone ran away at the theater. I mean, I think that's pretty telling of how like impactful film can be and how real it feels when you watch a movie rather than maybe just look at a picture. Sorry, no shade photography, love you, but it's just so immersive. And I've always seen film as a massive way of, you know, talking about a concept with millions of people. I mean, especially big Hollywood movies, you can, you know, impart things to a country that has never been exposed to, for example, like diversity. You can have a diverse cast of people in a very popular film, and all of a sudden that's something that everyone around the whole world is getting exposed to. Or, you know, things like American history. I would have not known about, you know, like Civil War history or just like any kind of slave history of the US if it weren't for popular media like film. And that's just like tip of the iceberg. There's just so much that becomes common knowledge in countries that wouldn't have had access to it otherwise. And it's just a way of getting into like the collective consciousness that's so, there's so much discourse, you know, on a big scale. I love that.
Hell yeah. Nilo from Oxnard asks, okay, any movies that should have been a series or vice versa? I'm gonna go with Fantastic Beasts because the second one is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and it's way overstuffed. And I think if they had split it into 3 hour long episodes that had nothing to do with each other, I think it would have been much better.
I wrote down The Hobbit. It's, you know, same as before. I would have made it like maybe a show. I think that would have been interesting. Yeah, I just think the pace was like too fast with the amount they wanted to put in there. If they wanted to keep everything in there, make it a show. I don't think it's necessary to keep all that shit in there, but maybe a show would have been interesting.
Yeah.
I'll do the reverse for the sake of diversity. I think Queen's Gambit should have been a movie. I think it's essentially just a movie, but you could have had a like theatrical release and shit, and I would have been all about it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Is there a book that you want to see turned into a movie? I picked 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I would not direct it because it should be shot in Spanish, but it should be 4 to 5 hours long. And I would love doing a movie like that, super long, super epic, and yeah.
I wrote down The Horse and His Boy, which is, it's not the first Narnia book. I think it's the second after The Magician's Nephew, but
It's the third.
I just, is it the third?
Because
Gotcha.
it's when the kids are kings and queens in Narnia.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that book so much, The Horse and His Boy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even make it like a Narnia like sequel or prequel or whatever. I would have just made it completely separate, its own thing, because most of it doesn't even have like the fucking Pevensey kids, and I'm fine with that. I don't care. Best part is everything else. I think it's so emotional and such a good book. I love it.
Amazing.
Nice. World War Z. No, we'll do Kafka on the Shore, Haruki Murakami. It feels impossible to translate into a movie, but I want it so bad because it's so weird. Like Colonel Sanders shows up and he's a pimp, and like just licensing that shit out would be great.
Goodness gracious.
But there's also just like insane surrealistic shit that, like, there's an old man who talks to cats and his job is to like find lost cats for people, and he just goes up to neighborhood cats. He's like, "Hey, you seen this?" And it takes him on a whole ass journey. And I just think it'd be dope as shit to turn into a movie.
Nice. What is a serious movie that you laughed at? I picked Twilight.
That's great.
Hold on tight, Spider Monkey.
I picked Transformers 4 Age of Extinction. I almost got kicked out of the theater for it.
Wow.
Very, very hard.
Crazy.
Thought it was so bad.
It was bad.
Yeah. I laugh at pretty much every movie at some point. Like, just, I don't know why. Something's wrong with me. Like, there's a line in an Open Mike Eagle song where he's like, "I even laugh at CNN." It's not competing with Comedy Central. And I'm the same way. Literally any serious movie you put on, and I'm just gonna laugh at random times.
Yeah, man. I agree. Joel from Newbury Park asks, if you had to choose one genre that defined the previous decade, what would it be? I chose mockumentary. I think folks really ran away with that shit to varying degrees of quality. But I mean, The Office and Parks and Rec were so successful. Like, of course you'd want to copy it. Yeah. Documentary Now, all that stuff.
Yeah, good answer. I'll say horror. I already talked about the A24 artsy horror wave, but I think even going to like the Paranormal Activity camp and like the Conjuring camp and like I think it's been a horror-filled year. I think we've made some of our biggest like statements in movies through horror too. I think it's a pretty defining genre for the last decade.
I agree.
Yeah. Same. I mean, I was gonna say horror, but yeah, I guess I'll just say I hope we get into sci-fi soon. I hope there's like a sci-fi wave. I would be so excited. But yeah, horror.
I think with Villeneuve's recent movies between like Arrival, Blade Runner, Dune, I could see it resurging.
I mean, there's such a like dystopian feeling going on the past 2 years.
True.
I think it'd be very appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe this is the last. Let me double check real quick to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I got one of my brother's questions in, so I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think he cares. No. Okay. Miranda from Thousand Oaks, or maybe Newbury Park. I don't know where she's at right now, but she says, "Build your own movie. Pick a director, an actor / actress, plot, and genre. Off the
Just
cuff.
on the spot.
and we'll wrap up with this one. Okay, let's just say first director that comes to mind, and let's go around in a circle and do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sabrina, director.
Denis Villeneuve.
Jared, director.
Christopher Guest.
Okay, I will pick David Lynch.
We
Sabrina,
do genre.
genre next. Okay, so pick a genre.
Sci-fi.
I mean, mockumentary. It was it was kind of obvious with my director. I feel like.
I'll pick musical.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, and pick your star. You could pick one or two. Sabrina.
Damn. Someone go next. I don't know.
I'll go
Okay.
Jermaine Clement.
Jermaine Clement. Good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice. And then Sabrina.
Can I just do all Argentine cast? Doesn't matter who it is.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Random all Argentine cast.
Nice. I'm gonna pick Janelle Monáe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess the plot. What's the plot of the movie?
I got mine. I'm ready.
Go for it.
Go.
It is a super serious mockumentary about a underground Beyblade gambling ring.
Nice. Nice.
Love it. Yeah, I would do like a dystopian, like corrupt government, Latin America thing. Maybe US is involved. Maybe some like dictatorship action based on like history, you know? Yeah, I would do something like that. And they're all trying to overthrow this dystopian government.
Nice.
Nice.
Mine follows a traffic cop who who receives a nightmare about the end of the world, and so it's up to her and her ticket machine to and her highlighter vest to stop the end of the world.
Ooh. Musical.
Groovy.
Yeah, it's a
Ooh.
musical too.
I love
Hell
it.
I forgot that I picked musical.
I love it.
Alrighty, folks. Thank you for listening in on the second Jared Cast Q&A. Thank you to Jared Lombardo for taking time out of his long day. Thank you to Sabrina Gadassi for joining us kind of last minute. I gave you, 6 days, right? But yeah, thank you guys. It's good to be back. It's good to be on the mic again, and it's good to do it with the two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
for being a super producer and editor and really carrying this podcast on your goddamn back all the time.
Hell yeah.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Alrighty, folks. You can follow us all on Instagram. All those links will be down below. We'll also link Sabrina's website with her artsy stuff, her pretentious hipster stuff.
Yeah, you know it.
It's okay. I'm a pretentious comic book nerd. We relate. But yeah. And tune in next week for our best films of 2021. Yeah. Alrighty. Thank you. Goodbye.
See you.